Hello everyone, this is Charmander, and in this video, I'm gonna do the ultimate hero tier list in Doomsday Last Survivor, and I'm gonna cover every single hero that is available right now. I do know that in a few weeks, they do plan on releasing a new rider hero. Most likely, it's going to be a rally / siege based hero. So unfortunately, I won't be able to cover that in this video, but I do plan on making a hero tier list just for legendary heroes in the future as well. So I'll include any new heroes in that one once the rider hero gets released. I also want to mention before I start this hero tier list that my alliance in server 645, it's called FTD. We are recruiting garrison infantry captains right now, so we are specifically looking for a Rigoro Riven garrison captain with armaments over 3.5 million who can be our main infantry garrison captain for our alliance during major PvP events including AR, IR, or GW. So if you are that player, you want to be the main garrison captain for an alliance, then reach out to me in the game. I'm in server 645. My name in the game is Charmander King, and we can talk about you joining our alliance. With that being said, for this specific hero tier list, the criteria I'm going to be using to rank a hero higher or lower is going to be based on 3 different factors. The first one is going to be how strong the hero is. So just from a raw power standpoint. Second one is utility. So maybe that hero doesn't have the strongest fighting power, but because of their debuffing skills or buffing skills, they make your team stronger. Therefore, they do deserve to get a higher rank in the tier. And finally, I'm also going to be using availability as a factor. So I've always said that an elite hero that is awakened is oftentimes better than a legendary hero that you have not developed whatsoever. Like not a single skill has been leveled up. So in which case, a lot of those elite heroes that are awakened is actually better than those legendary heroes. So availability is definitely very important, and I'm going to be covering that in this tier list. Now, if you disagree with any of my opinion in this tier list, feel free to leave in the comment section below and explain why you disagree, and I'm happy to discuss it with you. With that being said, let's get started with the worst hero in the game, which is Stan. So he is a joke and he goes straight to the trash bin. Next, we have Allison, and Allison is unfortunately also a trash hero. She has absolutely no utility at all, so she goes straight to trash. Next, we have the back alley doctor, which I'm gonna put in the farmer tier. So it's F tier, but it's F for farmer. And he is one of the best heroes actually for farming steel specifically. So he does have his utility, so he gets a spot in the farmer tier. Next, we have Andrew Morrison, which is a mad scientist looking guy. He also goes to the farmer tier because he is actually one of the best food gathering heroes in the game, and you're probably going to be using him in your lineup for farming food specifically. Next, we have the hero that I hate the most in the game, and this is this boxing gloves idiot, Samuel. He looks absolutely annoying. I just want to punch him in the fucking face. So he gets straight to the trash. He's even worse trash than Stan. So I want to put him like, he's like the head trash. Okay, there. Head trash Samuel. Next hero on the list is going to be this old lady, Michelle. So Michelle is actually a really good gathering hero, specifically for gathering wood. So she goes to the F tier for farmer. And then we have Chris. So Chris is also a gathering hero. She's more of an all-around hero for gathering. So I'm going to put her for F, farmer tier. I actually use Chris a lot for gathering food specifically, but she would also be good for anything else that you need to farm resources with. Next, we have Angela, which is one of the early game heroes that you get, and she is also a farmer hero. So again, I'm gonna put her in F for farmer. And then we have Jeremy. So Jeremy is one of the best gathering heroes in the game in terms of gathering wood specifically, so he gets to be in the F tier for that. Next, we have Akemi. So Akemi is a zombie hunting hero, so she's good to put in your lineup for farming zombies, so she also gets to be in the farmer tier. Early game, she's also not a bad pair with Cynthia just because her attack is actually stronger when you deal damage to slowed enemies. So Cynthia, when she fires her skill damage, she slows down the enemy. So then when Akemi attacks after with her skill damage, then Akemi's skill damage will deal more damage. So early game, they would be a good pair, but just very early game. Next, we have Freya. So Freya, I'm going to put her actually at C because she has a pretty high utility in regards to using her for water war specifically. So she's good in water war because if you pair her up with Cynthia, when Cynthia fires her skill damage, it slows down the enemy, right? So when Freya fires her skill damage, it also slows down the enemy. What most people don't know is Cynthia and Freya's skill damage stack. So when you slow down the enemy, you double slow them down, which can make or break the difference when someone is trying to bring back the water to their side. My best water war performance is actually with Cynthia and Freya. I believe I collected over 10 waters and over 10 kills. So Freya is no joke for water war specifically. Next, we have Captain Russell. I'm going to put him under letter F for farmer. So he is really good for farming zombies as well. You actually get the most EXP for your squad if you have Captain Russell leading that squad. So he's also good early game for leveling up your heroes. Next, we're gonna have Sia, and Sia is also going to the F tier for farmer. So she is actually one of the best oil gathering heroes in the game. So she has a solid spot for the farmer team. Next, we have Edward. Now, Edward is actually a decent early game garrison hero, so I'm gonna put him at C because it's pretty easy to awaken him. And if you have your team going to Pompeii and your players are P4 and you want to give them a job to help your team win in Pompeii, you could potentially use Edward to garrison one of the operation bases that's closest to your base. So usually enemies will send just one rider hero to go and steal those operation bases near the start of your base because they're oftentimes not protected. So Edward can take a role there to fill them, not so much to stop an actual attack, but just to slow down the enemy or at least notify you if there's someone that's trying to steal those operation bases with a single rider squad. Obviously, you wouldn't be using Edward for major PvP battles. He's specifically for Pompeii. Next, we have John Sunderland, which is going straight to trash. He's absolutely worthless. And then we're gonna have Park Dong-wook. I'm gonna put him at B actually. He is super high utility because he is one of the best heroes, not just for Water War, but also for Bounty. And if you're using this guy every week for your Bounty ground, he is definitely useful. So I'm gonna put him at B just because he is one of the fastest heroes in the game, which is really helpful for Bounty, especially if you're not very strong, you're not spending a lot of money. At least you can survive and you can run away from the enemy just because they can't catch you, as Park Dong-wook is good at getting away from opponents. Next hero on the list is going to be Peggy. So Peggy is going to be in the farmer tier. She is used for farming zombies specifically. If you awaken her, she's also really good because your shelter construction speed goes up by 10%. So she is definitely one of the best heroes in the farmer tier, if not the best. So maybe I'll put her in the very front just because of that construction bonus that she gives. Next, we have Liam McFadden. So Liam is everybody's biggest regret in this game. He's going straight to trash. He's absolutely worthless. I made a mistake early game to actually get him to level 60, which was a big mistake. He's not even good in Z Virus Adventures. So the problem is he's one of the default heroes in the game that you get. So you think he's actually useful when he's actually really bad. With that being said, a great hero that is of elite level is actually Charlie, which is going straight to B actually. So at the start of this video, I actually mentioned that an elite hero that is awakened is more useful than a legendary hero where their skills has not been leveled up whatsoever. So Charlie is very much available. He is a rage regeneration monster, and early game and even mid game he would be good in any infantry lineup. Late game he starts to fall apart, but if you have a squad of 3, 4, 5 infantry in the field, then you might want to put him in your 4th or 5th squad. So he won't completely lose his utility until potentially right before you quit this game if you've been playing for a few years. Next, we're gonna go to our legendary heroes. We're gonna start off with Hank, who is completely worthless, so he goes straight to the trash. And then we're gonna go with Martin next. So Martin is going straight to farmer tier because he is actually a good hero for farming zombies. You wouldn't use him for any real battles, but for killing zombies, he is perfect. He also heals your squads actually, so you can farm zombies even longer with Martin leading your zombie farming team. Next, we're gonna go with an elite hero that I actually forgot to rank earlier, which is actually going to be Alexander. So Alexander is one of the best elite heroes in the game. I'm gonna put him at B actually. He is a buffing monster. He is amazing at buffing your team, especially in the arena. He's also good for PvP early game only. So mid game and late game, you're probably not gonna use him. But there are some tricks that people actually use with Alexander. So for example, they'll pair Alexander actually with Bianca and they'll be fighting zombies or hitting the enemy when they're doing garrison and you're doing rally, for example. So he actually can buff your rally team. He can also buff your garrison team. So if you're doing garrison and the enemy's trying to rally it, and let's say there's a zombie near the tower or there's an enemy that is not paying attention to you, you can hit them and you can generate some buff that will also go to your garrison team. So he is actually very useful. I think severely underrated as an elite hero. Next, we are gonna go with Master Jin. So Master Jin, one of my previous alliance leader likes to use him for rallying, which is actually ridiculous. He's actually not that good. I guess you could say he's better than nothing. So if he's a better than nothing hero, you can put him at C. But yeah, I know he increases your squad size for your rallies, but not worth it in my opinion. Same goes for Peter. So my previous leader likes to pair Master Jin with Peter to increase the squad size of the rally. It was actually absolutely horrible. So Peter either go straight to the trash. Next hero is going to be Raigoro. So Raigoro has been brought to life because of Riven. He is actually one of the best garrison heroes in the game. Although by himself he's pretty weak, but with Riven he is a superstar. So I'm gonna put him at B actually, just because with Riven he is a superstar. He's also very available, which is good. So he's a B hero, good for partnering with Riven for the whole purpose of doing garrison. Next hero is gonna be Johnny Carey, who is going to trash. He's an absolute trash hero that's used to counter Thunder back when Thunder was the king of garrison. Nowadays Thunder is becoming obsolete, and you can counter Thunder also with Julia with her silencing debuff skill. So Johnny Carey absolutely has no more use in this game. If you get him a top commander on purpose, other than the free frags that you get if you just try to complete the quest in top commander, not necessarily to rank, then I don't think that's a good use of your resources to try to get his shards. Next hero is Jonathan, another useless hero in the game that's going straight to trash. He is a counter rally rider hero. That's his only use, and he can be easily replaced by any other rider hero for the purpose of counter rallying. So he's actually not very useful. So straight to trash you go, Jonathan. Next hero is going to be Tom. So Tom is actually a high utility hero. So he's not very strong, but he's good enough if you have already developed him just from the police station shards that you get. So you can use him in the field to pair him up with an infantry hero to make them last longer as a result of his healing skills, or you can make him pair up with Thunder for the purpose of garrison just to buy time for your team to protect your tower, or you can put him also in the arena and he would be a good hero there to protect any strong heroes in the back line. So I would put him actually at B just for the whole purpose of utility specifically. Next hero is going to be Jaden. So Jaden is going to C, and that's because Jaden is very much available, and if you're free to play or low spend, then he might go to your squad as one of your infantry squad leaders. So maybe in your third, fourth, or fifth squad. Again, as mentioned earlier, the fact that he's accessible, you can awaken him, he's better than nothing. So he goes to C just because he has utility. So he's not completely trash. Next hero is going to be Lee. So Lee is not as good as he used to be. He used to be one of the best debuffing heroes in the game. Even when I first started, he was quite a menace. Now he's still useful, so he still has utility as a debuffing hero. So I'm going to put him at C just because you can still use him as part of your lineup. Next hero is going to be Nakano, and unfortunately she's going straight to trash because it takes so long to get her fragments from the police station, and there's more range heroes nowadays that you can put in your lineup that is easier to acquire shards to skill them up. So Nakano, unfortunately, the utility has gone way down and she's pretty weak. So trash you go, Nakano. Next we have Chun. So Chun is not as good as she used to be. Her rage skill also requires 1200 to fire, which is a lot higher than most heroes. So that already makes her a liability in your team. She is decently strong and she is quite fast, but there's fast heroes that are ranged that has been introduced to the game as of late. So she's really losing her place, but she can still be used in your third, fourth, or fifth range squad. So I'm going to put her at C because she still has some minor use. Next hero is going to be Jacob. So Jacob is a garrison range hero and he's also decent in the field. Unfortunately, there's just so much better range top commander hero to get, such as Bard. So he's going to go to C because he has some minor utility for the purpose of garrison and field. But again, you don't want to go to top commander and pick him over Bard because Bard is so much better. And not just because Bard is better, but they just released Ethan also, who is now the top dog range garrison hero. So this makes him even more obsolete than before. Next hero on the list is going to be Maxine. So Maxine is the queen of farming. So she's going to the F tier for farmers. She's actually, in my opinion, the best farming hero in the game because when she completes a node, she leaves a gift. And the gift can sometimes contain a speed up. And a speed up, as you know, can help you get points in top commander. So she definitely has a lot of utility, specifically for farming resources and specifically for farming oil and food. Next hero on the list is Sven. So unfortunately, it is expected that a new rider rally hero is going to come out, making Sven obsolete because Sven is specifically a siege hero. Also, there are better field heroes than him. Also, Felix and Elena together are amazing for rider rally. So his use is dwindling by the day. I'm going to put him at C as a result of him losing his utility as the day goes by. Now, a lot of people are going to be upset. Are you kidding me? Sven is good. You're an idiot, Charmander King. Hey, you know what? When the rider siege hero comes out, we'll find out who's the idiot. And I'll give you a clue. It's not me. Next hero on the list is going to be Mai. So the problem with Mai is lack of availability. Like, you would have to have gotten her during the collaboration event back in 2024. However, she is the fastest rider hero in the game. So from a utility standpoint, it's quite high, but from an availability standpoint, it's quite low. Her damage is pretty decent as well. I'm gonna put her at B actually. So if you've already gotten all the rider heroes that you want and you want to spend 2 legendary hero shards on her to level her up because you've already awakened all the other ones, then I think that's okay, especially because she's the fastest rider hero currently in the game. So when you're the best at a specific area of the game, then you definitely deserve to get a higher rank, but I can't put her higher than B just because of the lack of availability. Next one on the list is going to be Bella. So Bella used to be the queen of the rider heroes, but she's losing her place now just because Felix is so much better. I'm gonna put Bella actually at A. So she's still a really good hero to put in your field, especially your second field squad. So she's still really, really useful. She's also decent for the purpose of doing rider rally. So she still has a spot in anyone's lineup. So if you've already invested in her, you awaken her, don't worry, she's not completely useless. You can still use her and she's still quite strong. Next hero on the list is Adat. I love Adat's design. She looks badass as hell. And she is super strong. And I know she's not as strong as she used to be when she first came out. She was destroying everyone, but she's still one of the fastest infantry hero in the game. She does decent amount of damage. She's paired up with Miyamoto usually, and you see everyone and their mom using the Adat Mia combination. So she's still going straight to the S tier just because she is one of the absolute best infantry field heroes in the game, and she's also quite decent for the purpose of doing backup infantry rally. Next hero on the list is going to be Lewis. Lewis is the best rage regenerator in the game. Not only is he good with your ranged lineup, he's also good with your infantry lineup. So I see people using Lewis to pair him up with Thunder to increase the number of times that Thunder can fire off his healing ability. He's also good with Adat, allowing Adat to fire her rage skill more frequently. He's amazing for the purpose of doing garrison. There is actually an argument whether Sophie or Lewis is the best partner for Ethan in regards to doing range garrison. He's also amazing for the whole purpose of doing range rally. So he would be the second best after the Lewis Bard combo. It's gonna be Lewis and Julia. So in that case, Lewis is going straight to S tier for the whole purpose of utility, availability, and he's also decently strong. Next, we have Robert. I absolutely hate his design. He looks so annoying. Like, dude, you look like so annoying. I'm gonna put him at C because there's just so much better infantry heroes than Robert. He is decently strong. So if you need a third or fourth or fifth infantry field lineup, Robert can be used for that purpose and he would still be decent. But he wouldn't be your first squad or second squad just because there's better infantry hero lineups to use over Robert. Next hero on the list depends on whether she has a skin or not. So without the skin, Catherine is actually a C tier just because she's not available, she's expensive, and she's okay damage wise, but availability is a huge problem. But if you get her skin, even though the availability is not good because it is expensive, she is going to S tier just because she's so strong, like ridiculously strong. S tier for sure. Her sister Cynthia is going to be in a similar case. So without the skin, she's going to B because Cynthia is one of the fastest heroes in the game. She's also very much available. She's great for node knocking. She's great for water war. She's great for bounty ground. So she still has a lot of utility as a result. But if you get her skin, oh my god, easily S tier. She's so powerful. She's so fast. She is just ridiculously strong, and I actually seen people using the Calamity Sister skin, Cynthia and Catherine, even on rider rallies, and it's quite strong as well. So together with the skin, S tier easily. Next, we're gonna go with Thunder. So Thunder is becoming more obsolete. He used to be an S tier infantry garrison hero, but nowadays I would put him actually at B. So he's still useful if your team needs someone to garrison. However, as a range main player, whenever I see a Thunder, I am quite happy because I know I'm gonna beat him up because he is just not as good as he used to be. And for me, it's easy kills, easy points, great for trades. But I can't lie, he does buy time. So if the team just needs to buy time to wait for, let's say, Genesis War to end without losing their tower, then Thunder can definitely buy time for your team. So he's going to the B tier. He's also pretty good in the arena, Pompeii. So from a utility standpoint, he's still quite good. Next hero is going to be Victor. I'm going to put Victor in A. Now, Victor is one of the best garrison heroes in the game, but he is not the best. That's the thing. That's why I can't put him at S because he's not the best. He's one of the better ones because you can put him with Lewis for a ranged garrison team. You can put him with Riven for an infantry garrison team, and potentially maybe even with Chasey. But the thing is, he's not the best for all those roles. He's just flexible, and he gets the A position because he's strong and because he has high utility. But availability, he's also pretty bad just because the Guardian Roulette event doesn't come very often, so it's hard to even get his shards. So you would have to rely on legendary hero shards if you've unlocked him to skill him up. Next, we have Bianca. Bianca is insanely good. She is an S tier leader hero. She is actually the best leader hero in the game. She is so good at buffing your team. She's very fast. And even for people who's doing rally and garrison, if you put her close to the rally and garrison that you are using, she can even buff them with her rage skill. So Bianca is definitely a superstar, easily an S tier hero. Next one on the list is Riven. So at the current meta, Riven is the best garrison hero for infantry. And if you're the best at something, guess what? You are S tier, okay? As a range main, Riven is a pain in the ass for me to deal with because her shield reduces the damage that my skill damage does to the garrison, and she lasts a lot longer than a Thunder garrison, especially when Riven is paired up with Rigoro. It is a brick. It's so hard to break through, makes her a pain in the ass. She can hold against 2 or 3 different rallies in a lot of events like Archipelago Raid where multi-rallies are being used. So she is definitely a powerhouse. She's also decent in the field, paired up with Bodala. So overall, Riven is a superstar S tier hero. Next on the list is going to be Eddie. Eddie is also an S tier hero. He is a monster in rally when you pair up with Stella. They have so much counter damage and they destroy Chasey. Eddie is also a monster in the field. You can't swarm him because the counter damage is gonna get you. It's just that ridiculous in terms of how strong Eddie is. And guess what? Stella and Eddie pair is also being used for garrison now. So he has multiple utilities, super high power, and a decent availability just because you can unlock him from top commander. Next hero is going to be Julia. She is, in my opinion, the best range hero in the game for the purpose of doing rallies. And even if the meta starts to shift where there are stronger range heroes than Julia, Julia will never lose her place. If you put her below S in the tier list, you are a moron. M-O-R-O-N, moron. Because when you're doing a rally, for example, in Archipelago Raid, and there's a triple rally going on, besides the fact that you need a range hero to deal the most damage, typically, if not one of the strongest damage to a garrison, her silence is going to be needed to debuff the enemy garrison hero to prevent them from firing their rage skill. So Julia will never ever lose her utility in this game, and she'll always be a staple. So if you've invested in Julia, that is one of the smartest things you've ever done. She's also pretty good in the field. However, she's not the best in the field anymore as they've released Sophie, and Sophie is the best in the field now. But Julia is still a powerhouse for the purpose of doing range rallies. Next hero on the list is going to be Elena. Elena is going straight to S tier, and I'll explain why. So Elena is a rider hero that deals a huge amount of damage, making her a killer in the field. And if you awaken her, she's also very fast. On top of that, Elena can also be used for the purpose of doing siege with Felix. So she now has double the utility because not only is she being used in the field, she's also being used for the purpose of rallying. She's also one of the best for garrison to be paired with Chasey because she reduces the damage taken when she's being hit by an AoE skill, and chances are that person doing the rally on you is going to be range, and it's just gonna negate Bard or Lewis's AoE damage. Her basic attack skill also matches up nicely with Chasey, making them an amazing combo for the purpose of doing garrison. Next here on the list is going to be Bard. Bard is going straight to S. I didn't put him at A, it's only because I needed to scroll up. But Bard is the strongest range rally hero combined with Julia, especially because he has a super weapon now. He is just ridiculously strong. Like, his transcended rage skill deals 15,000 damage. That is sick. Also hits multiple enemies on the field. I can't tell you the times where I fought a whale alliance and his AoE would hit those whale players and they have to go home. And to me, that is just so satisfying. I haven't fully transcended Bard yet, but I can't imagine how strong he will be once he's fully transcended with a fully leveled up super weapon that is hitting up to 4 enemies in an AoE around his rally. Next hero is going to be Nora. So Nora actually used to be an elite hero who used to be called Siogina, but they removed Siogina, replaced her with Nora, and now Nora has become a legendary hero. Now, I'm gonna put Nora actually in C. So Nora has utility in the game because she is easy to awaken. So you can put her in your 3rd, 4th, or 5th range field lineup. She wouldn't be good for rallying even though she's technically a rally range hero. Maybe early game you could use her, but ultimately she is good good as the third, fourth, or fifth option for a range field team. Next hero is going to be Bodala. Bodala, I'm not really sure where to rank him. He's very good, very high utility. Despite the fact that he's a field hero, he's also pretty good with Garrison. So I'm going to put him actually at A just because of his high utility. And I'm pretty sure some players in the game will be more creative and they'll come up with even amazing things to do with Bodala. I think the sky's the limit for this guy and he has a lot of potential going straight to A for an infantry field hero. Next, we have Chasey, and Chasey is going straight to S tier. So Chasey is currently the strongest Garrison hero in the game. She is a brick wall. She's just so overpowered. Like, she's so overpowered that my Julia Bard can't even hurt her when I'm doing a rally. She's so annoying. So Chasey is definitely the best Garrison hero in the game. In fact, if you're a Chasey Garrison hero captain with RMS over 3.5 million, please apply to my alliance. We want more Chasey Garrison players in my alliance. They're just so good. They make your team so much more versatile. And yeah, it's just like an amazing thing to have more Chasey Garrison captains in your team. Next one is going to be Ethan. So Ethan is going to be in S tier. So Ethan is now the strongest range Garrison hero in the game. He's fairly new, so I don't have much data on him. I do have him in my lineup and I've already leveled up 2 of his skills. So 2 more to go. It's going to take me a while to awaken him. So I don't know how strong he really is, but from what I've heard, he is a monster when it comes to Garrison. I've even heard of people using him for the purpose of rallying. So we'll find out as time goes, but at this current meta, he is the best range Garrison hero. Next is Felix. Felix is going straight to S tier. So Felix is so annoying. He's so strong. He's so cheap. Like, I hate this guy. He's just killing everyone. I've seen T5 Felix players with good armament kill a lot of T6 players. Like, he is just so broken and he has so much utility. You can use him for rally. You can use him for Garrison with Chasey. He is just one of the best heroes in this game. If you're a Rider main, you need to have Felix in your team 100%. He is a mandatory hero to get. Next hero is Jack Bronte. Now, he is very strong. I'm gonna put him actually at A tier. And technically, he's the fastest range hero in the game. Although you can also use him with any lineup pretty much, like with infantry as well. But my problem with him is he's not very accessible. Just because you need to use money to get him. And he's very good for the purpose of range field. So I'm gonna put him at A. Potentially, he could be S once we have more data come in. But at this time, I'll put him at A. Next is going to be Lin. Oh my god, Lin is amazing. I'm gonna put Lin actually at A tier. Lin is a monster. Like, I've been using Lin in the field, and when the enemy tries to swarm me because I'm using Julia and Lin together, I get so much kills because Lin has a pretty good counter damage and she's very tanky. So a lot of my kills is from counter damage actually, and it makes my Julia Lin pair a tank because Julia also has a lot of defensive capabilities as well. So Lin is a monster, and I can't imagine when you pair her with Sophie how tanky and strong they will be, and also fast because Lin is a fast range field hero. I would put her higher if she had more utility, like with Rally and Garrison, but she's mainly used for field. So A is where she's gonna go. Next is going to be Marco. So Marco is actually gonna go to S tier. Now, I know his availability is absolutely poor, and he was very expensive to get back in the event back in the days, but he's actually one of the best infantry heroes in the game. In the field, you can pair him up with Bianca, and they're gonna be crazy at buffing your team and also making them very difficult to kill because, as you know, Marco has a counter attack that reduces your HP. So you don't really want to swarm him. So this makes Marco very dangerous in the field. And he's also good in rally because of that same reason. So Marco is multi-utility, super strong, and in my opinion, even his lack of availability can't drop him below S just because technically he's one of the best infantry heroes in the game. I will say something very controversial. He might be worth 2 legendary hero fragments to skill him up, but I wouldn't do it unless you're a whale or you have a lot of legendary hero fragments laying around, or you've already developed your lineup and having Marco in your team in your field lineup would just make you so much stronger. In that case, yes, go ahead and use 2 fragments at a time to level him up. Next here on the list is going to be Sarah. So Sarah is a farmer hero. She also moves very fast, but her whole purpose is farming, especially farming food and wood. So she's going to the farmer tier. She's one of the best gathering heroes in the game as well. Next hero is going to be Sophie. Sophie is going straight to S tier. She's one of the best heroes in the game right now, especially for range players. She is an absolute monster in the field, especially because her rage skill only requires 900 rage to fire. So she's firing her rage more frequently than any other better heroes in the game. She's also very tanky, she's fast, she's amazing to be paired up with Ethan for the purpose of Garrison, her being the leader of course, and I've heard people using her for rally, although I wouldn't say she's the best hero for rallying, she would be maybe a second option, but yeah, Sophie is just ridiculously strong, definitely easily an S tier hero. And last but not least, we have Stella. Stella is going straight to S tier because Stella is the best infantry rally hero in the game, especially with her super weapon. She's so strong and she is the only weakness to Chasey. Every alliance needs to have a Stella Eddie infantry rally captain, and if you are one and you have armaments over 3.5 million, please apply to my alliance. We would like to have you in our team to help us kill Chaseys. One last hero that I forgot to add while I was recording this tier list is actually Miyamoto, which I'm gonna put at S tier because as you have seen, he is one of the best infantry field heroes in the game, especially paired up with a dot, and everyone and their mom uses the Mia a dot combo in the field, so S tier definitely for him. So with that being said, this is the complete hero tier for every single current heroes in the game, and I would say if they release the new Rider Siege hero, I'm probably gonna put that hero probably at S. I don't know what the other Rider hero is gonna be because they usually release one top commander hero and one lucky roulette hero, so I don't know what the second hero is going to be, but the Rider rally hero definitely gonna be an S, especially most likely they're gonna give it a super weapon as well. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Feel free to leave a comment below if you disagree with anything or you agree with any of the thing or you want to discuss something, or if you're looking to join an alliance and you are a Chasey or Riven Garrison captain or a Stella Eddie infantry range rally captain, feel free to reach out to my alliance at server 645. The alliance is called FTD. We are looking to recruit specific players to complete our team. We do have 20 healing tools to help you speed up your healing during PvP events, and we also share our gold, and we are a very social alliance. And last but not least, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.